Okay, the goalie video of the day. What I've done, I'm wearing Atlanta. I'm aware that's not Atlanta, and I'm aware that that's Calgary, and that they're both Calgary. But you guys get the idea. In black are the Atlanta Flames, and in red are the Calgary Flames. We're good? All right. Now, this is your goalie tandems, and in order to get on the board, you have to play a minimum of 20 games. So that being said, let's get to it. The Atlanta Flames joined the league in 1972, and goaltending is not a problem for them. Therefore, Phil Muir and Dan Bouchard are their goaltenders all the way through until 76-77. That's 5 straight years. Bouchard then plays 58 games in 77-78, 64 games in 78-79, and nobody else plays more than 20 games. So Dan Bouchard is the Atlanta Flames. Really, honestly. Through thick and thin, Dan Bouchard is the guy for the Atlanta Flames. 79-80. Bouchard's the leader again while they're getting ready to move. And Pat Regan emerges as the backup. So their time comes to an end in Atlanta. With the move to Calgary, magically Dan Bouchard is gone out of Calgary. He's gone, but in his place, they've got a pretty solid tandem as it is. So the Flames, while they're not stellar at this stage of the game, they're not bad either. And the Atlanta Flames were that their entire existence, thus the move. Not quite great, not quite horrible, just medium. 80-81, Pat Regan is your leader. Lemelin's your backup, same with 81-82. 82-83, Lemelin takes over as the leader in net with Don Edwards as the backup. Lemelin and Edwards, 83-84 and 84-85. So that's a tandem that lasts for quite a while Pat Regan moves on to pastures of the Washington Capitals. Lemelin then plays 60 games in 85-86. Nobody else plays 20. 86-87, there's officially a change of the guard. Mike Vernon becomes the starter with Lemelin as the backup. And of course, Mike Vernon would go on to a pretty solid career with Calgary. 87-88, Vernon, and the only other guy who got 20 games was Dadswell. Way ahead of you. I need to do a video on Dadswell. But anyhow, 88-89, Vernon and Walmsley are your goaltenders. Rick Walmsley came over, of course, from the St. Louis Blues in the Brett Hull trade. So you can look at that and go, well, they got hosed, but they won a Stanley Cup in 89, so they got over it. 89-90, it's Vernon and Walmsley again. Same tandem in 90-91. So they get in Rick Walmsley, a guy who's their backup for 3 years. And a very capable backup. 91-92, Mike Vernon plays 63 games and nobody else plays the minimum 20. 92-93, Vernon and Jeff Reese are your goaltenders. 93-94, it's Vernon again. Trevor Kidd's the backup. Kidd's the guy of the future, right? So they hand him the keys. 94-95, he plays 43 games. That's the lockout shortened, so nobody else got into enough games to project out to 20. 95-96, it's Kidd and Tabarachi. 96-97, it's Kidd and Rollison. And in 97-98, Trevor Kidd is gone. Tabarachi and Rollison are your goaltenders. Tabarachi was one of those guys that he had moments. Rick Tabarachi looked like he could be a decent starter at times, but I never really had any faith in him as a starter. Backup, okay, but as a starter, no. So Calgary learned their lesson pretty quick, 98-99. Freddie Brathwaite's their starter, and Reggett is back as the backup. So, or Reggett is in as the backup. I knew I was going to mess that up. Walmsley to Reggett, I'm just CWs. Reggett's out in 99-2000 as Brathwaite and Grant Fuhr. So Grant Fuhr finishes his career in Calgary as a backup to Freddie Brathwaite. And Brathwaite wasn't bad. So while people may remember this as kind of a dark period of time for the Calgary Flames organization, Brathwaite was not a poor goaltender. Played pretty well. 2000-2001, he's still the starter when Mike Vernon comes back. So Vernon comes back and finishes his career in Calgary, as it was meant to be. But in 2001-2002, Calgary felt that they could get the upgrade, and that was in the form of Roman Turek, who comes over from St. Louis. Turek plays 69 games. Nobody else gets into the minimum of 20. 2002-2003, Turek's the starter. McLennan the backup. 03-04, when Turek was obviously not going to be the guy, they picked up Miikka Kiprusoff from the San Jose Sharks. And Kiprusoff, not a bad goaltender. For the most part, not a bad goaltender. He has McLennan as his backup his first year. We miss, of course, 04-05 due to the lockout. 05-06. Here we go. Kiprusoff, 74 games. 06-07, Kiprusoff, 74. 07-08, 76. 76 again in 08-09. 73 in 2009, 2010, 2010, 2011, 71 games, 2011, 2012. Miikka Kiprusoff, 70 games. For people following along at home, that adds up to a lot of games. So Miikka comes over from San Jose and gets really ridden pretty hard by the Flames. Now, the problem with this is that come playoff time, you can be pretty tired after playing that many games. So when they get into the playoffs and they get knocked out, I always wondered if maybe Kiprusoff was being overplayed. 2012-2013, Kiprusoff's your starter. Backup, Joey McDonald. McDonald was one of those guys who was middle of the road and never quite got to his potential. 2013-14, Kari Ramo and Rito Berra. I liked Rito Berra a lot at the Olympics. Pretty sure he played at the Olympics for the Swiss, and then it didn't quite translate to the North American game, but he gave it a shot. 2014-2015, Jonas Hiller and Kari Ramo. 2015-2016, Ramo, Hiller, and Ordio. I love the name Ordio, and I really wish he'd lasted in Calgary. I was really pulling for that kid. Really wanted to see him make it. He just didn't. 2016-17, Elliott and Chad Johnson are your goaltenders. So they went in a completely new direction, and then this past season, they did it again with Mike Smith and Riddick as the backup. And this coming season, 2018-2019, it's likely Smith again, could be Gillies that ends up getting those 20 games. I find it strange looking through all of this year's annuals that Riddick's not really getting credit for playing pretty well. And he's kind of shunted aside by all these magazines that it's going to be Gillies as the backup. And I'm not too sure on that one. Tandems. Bouchard and Phil Muir, the first 5 years of the franchise's existence, provided them with solid goaltending, as I said. Lemelin and Edwards lasted 3 years. Vernon and Walmsley, also 3 years. Bouchard was with this team for 8 years, all the way until the move to Calgary. Muir, 5 years. Riggin, 3. Lemelin, 7. Vernon, 9. Trevor Kidd, 4. Kiprusoff, 9. And Ramo, 3. So there's a lot of goaltenders that came through. But when you look at it, the grand scheme of things, they've really enjoyed workhorse goaltenders like a Miikka Kiprusoff. Or even Kidd, Vernon, Lemelin, and of course Bouchard had 2 years there where his backups didn't get into the minimum 20 games. Goalies, 3 of them for Atlanta, 3. In 8 years they went through 3. That's insane. In Calgary they've gone through 25, but one of those is shared between Atlanta and Calgary. So altogether it's only 27 goaltenders, and since the year 2000 they've used 15. So a bit of a goalie graveyard if you want to look at it that way since 2000, but if you look from 05-06 to 2011-2012, pretty stable. So again, the numbers seem to even out for the most part. They're a team that's middle of the road, and we'll see in the coming seasons whether or not Gillies might be the guy to stabilize it, or if Parsons is going to realize that potential and be the guy who next works a lot of games, like Miikka Kiprusoff did. So Alberta likes to work at starting goaltenders pretty darn hard. Edmonton did in the video I did yesterday, and now it's Calgary's turn today. Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comments section below regarding this topic. And again, it's interesting to look at this from organization to organization. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.